Calling from a 210 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Sam. It's John from San Antonio. How you
John
doing?
from San Antonio. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Let's look at the early voting totals that Dems have cast. 264,000 votes in Texas.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about Texas because I've seen this.
Yeah.
This has been pretty amazing. What was the piece that I read that someone was saying that? Where the heck is that now? That someone wrote a piece recently. Conservatives should be freaking out about what's going on in Texas. Tell us why.
Well, there's been 264,000 votes for Democrats already, and there's only been 250,000 votes for Republicans, and it's 90% higher. The Democratic total is 90% higher than the total in 2014. Republicans' totals are only up 17%. And the only time Democrats have had more votes than Republicans votes in early voting was the last Democratic wave in 2006. The vote total in percentage is higher than it was in 2006, and the Democrats have cast 22,000 more votes, or 8% more in early voting than in 2016 race. And as most people know, the voting totals are on average about 20% higher in a presidential election year. In this case, in 2016, it was 59% of registered voters voted in Texas, and in 2014, only 34% voted. So it's pretty astounding, those totals.
Now let me ask you this. I mean, what do you think can be gleaned from this? Because it seems to me that one could also argue, all right, that is definitely indicative of a deep commitment to vote by these people. Is it necessarily an indication of the amount of people who will ultimately vote? I mean, I know that's been, that there's I don't know if there's a set algorithm that people have used in the past, but I wonder if this is a sign of enthusiasm, certainly a depth of enthusiasm, but not necessarily scope of enthusiasm.
Right. I mean, usually Republicans have a tendency to turn out more on Election Day. That's just a trend nationwide. But, I mean, it's still incredibly encouraging to see, that they're doing better in 2006. I mean, it's astounding to do better in an off-year election in 2016. I mean, that's just absolutely unheard of in any realm. I've never seen that before. So I mean, that's probably the biggest thing to glean. And there's still 2 more days of voting, to go in the early vote.
And so when is the vote? When
the vote is? It's in 5 days. It's on Tuesday, and so that should be a great thing. I've been talking about the 21st, the congressional district of Texas, the Democratic primary in this show since last summer. Originally, there were 5 Bernie supporters running. Now there are 3 Bernie supporters. Our Revolution and Justice Democrats have endorsed Derek Crow, and I've had 2 conversations with him. He's committed to the Bernie agenda, and his campaign puts a strong emphasis on fighting climate change. This highly gerrymandered district, which is currently represented by Republican climate change denier Lamar Smith, who is the head of the House Science Committee, is retiring. The district is considered to be the 4th most flippable congressional district, and conservative Democrat Joseph Kopser, who is a self-admitted Reagan worshiper, and has said, "I understand Republicans better than most of you, and we will need them to win this election." Unfortunately, Kopser has raised about 772,000, and Crow's raised about 156,000. So I'm hoping he can just get in a runoff, and we'll win in May. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for almost all of the Justice Democrats, all the Our Revolution candidates. Let's just get in a runoff and then go from there, because it's really hard to compete with this money. We saw it with Brianna Westbrook. In the special election, she did get 41% of the vote. Our Revolution endorsed, Justice Democrats endorsed. But when Jink was interviewing her after the election, she was saying, "I've got to raise more money." Of course, she's going to be running again. Her primary for the general election is going to be in August. And so that seems to be the biggest challenge for these candidates, is just raising enough money.
Right.
But perhaps just getting the grassroots support will be strong enough. A few weeks ago, I was commenting on how our revolution was not putting up enough candidates on the national website, and that has changed. Rick Trevino was put up on their website, and he's got a lot of grassroots support, and he won straw polls based on turnout and endorsements of the Young Democrats. Unfortunately, the Castro brothers have endorsed Jay Hewlings, and you have another candidate, Gino Ortiz Jones, who is more progressive than Hewlings, and they've raised $600,000, $500,000. And, it's going to be an uphill battle, but again, it's just a matter of
What's your
trying
perspective
to
on the
get in
Castro
the runoff.
brothers? I am not a huge fan, to be honest with you.
No, they're middle of the road Democrats. They're safe, status quo Democrats, and I mean, yeah, they have some good social values. I mean, economically, they're not trying to create any kind of change like we need in this country.
I think it was Julian Castro who was speaking at, I don't know, I think it might have been the 2012 DNC or the 2000, maybe it was the I think it was the 2012. I was really unimpressed with that guy. His story about his grandmother was basically, the story was like, make sure you have a good of grandmother as I did, or your SOL, basically. But appreciate the call, John. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.